iPadOS is a mobile operating system developed by Apple Inc. for its iPad line of tablet computers. It is a rebranded variant of iOS, the operating system used by Apple's iPhones, renamed to reflect the diverging features of the two product lines, particularly the iPad's multitasking capabilities and support for keyboard use. It was introduced as iPadOS 13 in 2019, reflecting its status as the successor to iOS 12 for the iPad. At the company's 2019 Worldwide Developers Conference, iPadOS was released to the public on September 24, 2019. The current version is iPadOS 14.7.1. Released on July 26, 2021. The first iPad was released in 2010 and ran iPhone OS 3.2, which added support for the larger device to the operating system, previously only used on the iPhone and iPod Touch. This shared operating system was rebranded as iOS with the release of iOS 4. The operating system initially had rough feature parity running on the iPhone, iPod Touch, and iPad, with variations in user interface depending on screen size, and minor differences in the selection of apps included. However, over time, the variant of iOS for the iPad incorporated a growing set of differentiating features, such as picture-in-picture, the ability to display multiple running apps simultaneously, drag and drop, and a dock that more closely resembled the one in Mac OS than the one on the iPhone. Standard iPad apps were increasingly designed to support the optional use of a keyboard, to emphasize the different feature set available on the iPad, and to signal their intention to develop the platforms in divergent directions. At WWDC 2019, Apple announced that the variant of iOS that runs on the iPad would be rebranded as iPadOS. The new naming strategy began with iPadOS 13.1. In 2019, on June 22, 2020, at WWDC 2020, Apple announced iPadOS 14, with compact designs for search, Siri, and calls, improved app designs, handwriting recognition, better features, enhanced privacy protections, and app widgets. iPadOS 14 was released to the public on September 16, 2020. On June 7, 2021, at WWDC 2021, iPadOS 15 was announced with widgets on the home screen and app library, the same features that came to the iPhone with iOS 14 in 2020. The update also brought stricter privacy measurements with Safari, such as IP address blocking, so other websites cannot see it. The public release of iPadOS 15 is expected between September and October 2021. Many features of iPadOS are also available on iOS. However, iPadOS contains some features that are not available in iOS and lacks some features that are available in iOS. Unlike previous versions of iOS, the icon grid displays up to 5 rows and 6 columns of apps, regardless of whether the device is in portrait or landscape orientation. The first page of the home screen can be configured to show a column of widgets from applications. For easy access, Spotlight Search is no longer part of the widgets but can still be accessed by swiping down from the center of the home screen or pressing Command plus space on a connected keyboard. iPadOS features a multitasking system developed with more capabilities compared to iOS, with features like slide over and split view that make it possible to use multiple different applications simultaneously. Double-clicking the home button or swiping up from the bottom of the screen and pausing will display all currently active spaces. Each space can feature a single app, or a split view featuring 2 apps. The user can also swipe left or right on the home indicator to go between spaces at any time, or swipe left, right with 4 fingers. While using an app, swiping up slightly from the bottom edge of the screen will summon the dock, where apps stored within can be dragged to different areas of the current space to be opened in either split view or slide over. Dragging an app to the left or right edge of the screen will create a split view, which will allow both apps to be used side by side. The size of the 2 apps in split view can be adjusted by dragging a pill-shaped icon in the center of the vertical divider and dragging the divider all the way to one side of the screen closest the respective app. If the user drags an app from the dock over the current app, it will create a floating window called slide over, which can be dragged to either the left or right. side of the screen. A slide over window can be hidden by swiping it off the right side of the screen. And swiping left from the right edge of the screen will restore it. Slide over apps can also be cycled between by swiping left or right on the home indicator in the slide over window and pulling up on it will open an app switcher for slide over windows. A pill-shaped icon at the top of apps in split view or slide over allows them to be switched in and out of split view and slide over. The user can now have several instances of a single app open at once. A new expose mode has been added which allows the user to see all of the instances of an app.